right. Hi, guys. I know it's been forever. Um, you guys know I'm not consistent with this YouTube thing. But I wanted to come make this video because I feel like it could help someone. As you can see by the title, I was diagnosed with COVID. So I tested positive a while ago. I didn't tell anybody just because I kind of wanted to go through it. Well, I told a few people, my very close friends and my family and my fiance, of course, knew. But I just kind of wanted to go through COVID before I let people know that I had COVID. So by the time you see this video, I have fully recovered. But I wanted to make this video because I'm fully vaccinated. I was exposed to COVID and I got COVID. And when I found out that I had been exposed, I was doing a lot of research because I'm the research queen. I research everything. I was doing a lot of research. And I was looking for YouTube videos of people who had tested positive with COVID who were fully vaccinated. And I couldn't really find many videos. So I decided to make a video because I'm sure this could help someone. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. COVID is bad everywhere. This year, COVID is worse than it was last year. Last year, around this time, I didn't know anybody immediately close to me that had COVID. This year, I know a lot of people in my immediate circle who have had COVID or have COVID. My dogs, I call them his godparents. Her husband and her son and her daughter have COVID. Thankfully, she's okay. She doesn't have COVID. And yeah, some people very close to me. I'll just say that. And then me, myself, have COVID. Now, any of my friends will tell you, like, I have anxiety. I'm OCD. When COVID first happened, I wasn't going nowhere. I didn't go nowhere. My friends was so tired of me. Like, I was scared to go anywhere. My fiance, I was like, look, you cannot go to the store 2-3 times a week because you're increasing your chances of catching COVID and bringing it home. I'm going to need you to make a list, go to the store once a week so we can mitigate our exposure to COVID. Also, as you guys know, I'm an esthetician, so I work solo by myself, so I'm not working around a lot of people, but I do work very closely with my clients. So I shut down my books for a few months last year, and I recently opened them up in like April. So I've been the most OCD person when it comes to COVID, the most careful person when it comes to COVID, and of course, I'm the one that got COVID. So before we begin, again, I'm looking down. Sorry if I squint. I don't have my glasses on because it causes a glare, and I know that can be distracting to you guys. So I have a tablet because I kept a journal of every single day how I was feeling when I had COVID. Now, no shade against anyone who's not vaccinated. It's totally your choice whether you want to get vaccinated or not. Let me just make that disclaimer. I myself personally am vaccinated. I have been vaccinated since late April. I got vaccinated. Well, I was on the fence like a lot of people when it came to the vaccination. I wasn't completely sold on it. The reason I got vaccinated was because for me, the fear of catching COVID and like having major issues and ended up in the hospital, that was more of a risk than taking a vaccine, even if we don't 100% know what's going on with the vaccine. So to me, either one was a risk, but to me, getting COVID, not being vaccinated, or at that time, we were kind of led to believe that your chances are harder to get COVID if you were vaccinated. So that's what made me get vaccinated. Now, the first time I got vaccinated, I had an anxiety attack. And if you've ever had an anxiety attack, it feels like the end of the world. It feels like you're dying. But again, I suffer from anxiety. So anxiety attacks are not new for me, but still very scary. So because I'm OCD, I wasn't sure what I experienced was an anxiety attack. I felt like, oh my God, am I having an allergic reaction to something in the vaccine? I took the Pfizer vaccine, so I was scared to take the second dose, and I almost canceled. I spoke to my doctor. My doctor was like, oh, you're fine. It wasn't an allergic reaction. It was a panic attack. I called an allergist. Y'all, I'm extra. I called an allergist specialist to see if they could test me to see if I'm allergic to anything in the vaccine. But unfortunately, they don't test for COVID vaccine allergens. So up until the day that I was scheduled to take my second dose, I was thinking about canceling. And I called my doctor and I'm like, can I get you guys to prescribe me Xanax? So maybe I could take Xanax to calm down before I take the vaccine. Because at this time, I'm like pretty sure that it's anxiety. It's not an allergic reaction. But I don't want to have another anxiety attack because it feels like death. Like it's very uncomfortable. So the doctor was supposed to get back to me. They never got back to me. So I kind of just had to go. And I just prayed to God. My fiance said, I'll go with you. And I just talked myself down and I got my second shot and I was fine. As far as my shot, you guys, all I had was a sore arm. I never had well, I was a little tired, but I didn't get sick or anything like that. Again, I took the Pfizer vaccine. Okay, so fast forward. Again, I am an esthetician. Primarily, I do corrective skincare, but I do know how to do makeup as well. I am a makeup artist, but I don't advertise makeup services because I just don't have a passion for it. But friends, if they need their makeup done, or my clients that know I do makeup, I'm sorry, I'm talking with my hands, y'all. My clients that know I do makeup, if they want their makeup done, I will do their makeup for them, but I don't advertise it. So before we get in, I guess might as well do a small story time, right? Hopefully y'all stay to the end or fast forward. So how I got COVID. So a friend and this story is very important. So one of my best friends / bridesmaid has a friend that has gotten her makeup done by me a couple of times, and she came to get her makeup done. So when she came in, she had already forewarned me that she had been coughing, but she has asthma and she changed her asthma medication. Okay, you guys, foresight or whatever they say is 2020, whatever they say. Like, looking at it now, I should have known better, but I didn't. Because I'm like, I know this person, vaccinated people, we've kind of let our guards down. So I'm like, oh, I know this person is fine, whatever. So she comes and gets her makeup done, and she is even showing me, at one point she stops because she coughed and she grabs her medicine out of her bag, and she's just like, oh my gosh. She's like, I've been having so many issues, with this medicine. Like, I have an appointment with my doctor so they can switch my medicine out. Now, I don't know anything about asthma, but from what I understand now, the medicine is supposed to help you from coughing, not causing you to cough. So at this time, clearly she has COVID, right? But we don't know that she has COVID. Well, I don't know. I don't know if she had any inclination, any clue. I don't know if she has COVID. So I do her makeup, and unfortunately, I did not wear a mask, and I should have worn a mask, and I wear a mask all the time. But of course, being vaccinated, letting my guard down, feeling like I know this person, I didn't wear a mask. Lesson learned. So that was a Friday. So that Saturday, me and one of my best friends / bridesmaid, we went to a party that her friend, the girl that I did makeup for, we went to a party that she invited us to. And it was cool. It wasn't a lot of people there. We were able to spread out. We were around her, but it's not like we were like, we hugged her or whatever, but we weren't totally in close proximity to her. Not as close as me doing her makeup. So that was Saturday night. So Sunday night, I get a phone call from my bridesmaid, and she's like, are you at home? And I'm like, girl, why? And she's like, girl, why did I find out so-and-so tested positive for COVID? So-and-so is the person's makeup I did. I'm like, are you serious? And she's like, yes. And she's like, the worst part is so-and-so did. She said, have you heard from so-and-so? I said, no, I haven't heard from her. She said, well, the worst part is I didn't even hear directly from her. Pause. You guys, if you find out that you have COVID and you have been around people, please be responsible and call those people and let them know, hey, I've tested positive for COVID. Just letting you know, because I know we was around each other. This is very important because this was Saturday when I became exposed. That next week, I was supposed to be flying to Vegas. I already have my trip is already booked, everything. I'm supposed to be flying to Vegas with my mom, my sister, and my best friend. We're supposed to be flying to Vegas so I can do wedding planning because I'm getting married in Vegas next year. So now I am pissed, okay? At this point, I'm not experiencing any symptoms, but I'm effing pissed that I've been exposed to COVID a week before a trip that has been planned since February. So, this was Sunday. Monday, Tuesday goes by, don't hear anything from the girl. At this point, my best friend, she's also fully vaccinated. And so she talks to someone she knows that's a doctor, and they're like, oh, you guys should be fine. It's very rare for someone to get COVID while vaccinated. It's very rare because at this point, it's supposed to be rare. It's supposed to be breakthrough cases. It's supposed to be 0.005%. So at this point, I'm just praying that I don't have COVID, me and my best friend. So eventually we end up hearing from the girl. She ends up calling me to tell me that she has COVID. This is like 2 days after she's already known. And the only reason she called me is because my best friend called someone that she knew, that both of them know, that she was also around, to say, hey, do you know that so-and-so has COVID? I'm telling you because I know you were around her. She's like, oh yeah, I know. She said she was going to call you and Toya. She never did. My best friend's like, no, she never did. 10 minutes later, I get a call from her. So I feel like she didn't call on her own. She called because that person called her and said, hey, you're wrong. You didn't call them. So then she calls but by this time I know. Here's the thing, guys. If you expose someone to COVID, that person cannot get mad if you didn't know it's going to happen. That person can't get mad at you, so don't be afraid to tell them. But what they can get mad at is if you have already been exhibiting symptoms. I don't know if the girl got a rapid test that Sunday or if she got tested and still came to me and maybe her doctor thought, I don't know. But here's my thing. Even if you feel like you have a cold, go get tested. Don't expose people. Because here's the thing. If it wasn't for that third party telling my friend and my friend telling me, I would have thought I had a cold. Now, at this point on Tuesday, I don't have any symptoms, okay? I didn't start showing symptoms till Wednesday. But because I'm vaccinated, my symptoms were not COVID symptoms. I would have thought I just had a cold. I wouldn't have thought to get tested. I would have rolled it out, and then I would have went on my trip to Vegas. I would have exposed everybody on the plane, even though we're wearing masks. I would have exposed my mom, who has a compromised immune system. Although she's fully vaccinated, I would have exposed my younger sister, who is not she's vaccinated now, but she wasn't vaccinated at the time. I would have exposed my sister. My mom and sister would have went home and exposed my brother, who at the time wasn't vaccinated, who freaking has diabetes, okay? And would have exposed my dad, who's fully vaccinated. So basically, do you guys see what I'm trying to say? Like, be responsible. If you are feeling sick, don't just think it's a cold. Just go get tested. Because to be honest, COVID is everywhere right now. Everywhere. We'll get to that later. So anyway, I say that to say that the girl who gave me COVID was wrong. That was wrong. Either way you slice it, it was wrong. And it shouldn't have took 2 days for her to tell me. Only because someone had reached out to you and said, hey, these people know you should have told them. I thought you were going to tell them. So anyway, so not only did I miss out on my trip, it cost me money. I have to get a credit. Of course, tickets are probably going to be high, so when I do go to Vegas, I'm going to have to pay the difference. I had clients scheduled. I had to cancel my clients because I had been exposed. At this point, I didn't know. So anyway, fast forward, Wednesday, early morning, like around 2 in the morning, my throat started feeling funny. It didn't hurt, but it didn't feel normal. It felt strange. So I'm thinking, okay, a cold is coming on. Excuse me, Tuesday, I went and got tested for COVID. I was negative. So my test came back negative. Wednesday morning, now mind you, I was exposed on Friday. I tested Tuesday. The reason the test came back negative, I took a rapid test. Those are not as accurate unless you're showing symptoms already. B, you have to wait 5 to 7 days after exposure to get tested because it could take 5 to 7 days for the antibodies to build up in your system so the test can read it. So Wednesday around 2 o'clock in the morning, I got kind of sick. By 12 o'clock that afternoon, okay, so now I got a stuffy nose and this and that. Okay, now guys, I'm going to start looking down at my tablet because I took notes. So, yeah. So, Wednesday afternoon, I started getting a stuffed up nose and some congestion in my nasal area. At this time, I'm still praying that it's just a summer cold, okay? Because I'm still thinking, oh, I'm fully vaccinated. It's, a breakthrough. It's rare. So Thursday, I go get a PCR test at CVS. PCR is the more accurate test. That's the test that takes 2 to 3 days to get back. That's not the rapid test. So I go to CVS, get a PCR test. So then my best friend calls and she's like, hey, I just went to this place called Viral Solutions. They gave me a PCR test. I can get my results back the same day. So I go, after CVS, I go to Viral Solutions to get a PCR test because remember, guys, at this point, it's Thursday. I'm supposed to fly out to Vegas Tuesday. So I need to find out as soon as possible. That 2 days makes a difference from when I find out if I need to cancel my trip, right? So that evening, so while I'm sick or whatever, I go get some Theraflu Max Express day and night time. So I'm just doping up on medicine because I'm congested. At this point, that's it. Just stopped up nose. It wasn't even fully stopped up. It was running a little bit, but it was mainly congestion up in here. So Thursday night, I got the test done Thursday. Thursday night, I get an email saying your results are back. Open it up. Of course, it reads positive for COVID. So I'm like, oh God. So I'm like, this is such an inconvenience. So now I gotta call my mom, call my sister, call my best friend. My mom and sister, they're like, well, we're gonna go ahead and go to Vegas because my sister is in college, and when I plan on going to Vegas in October, she won't have the time. So my mom and sister go. My best friend, he decides to stay behind, and he's like, don't worry about it. We'll go in October. Okay. So that's Thursday. So Thursday, I have a mild cough. My throat is more normal. My voice is hoarse. I have congestion. I have a stuffy nose. Now, when I say a mild cough, it was coughing here and there. It wasn't coughing hard. It wasn't making my chest hurt. It was more like a cough, like you're trying to clear your throat. So Friday, now I'm starting to lose my smell and my taste, right? It's 70% going. My smell and taste is 70% going. Congestion still up in here, stuffed nose. I never had a fever. I never had shortness of breath. I walked my dog because I know a lot of people who had COVID, they're like, oh my God, I can't even walk to the mailbox. I can't even walk to my car without being extremely out of breath. So I walked my dog across the street and I'm fine. Like my lung capacity, my oxygen, everything was fine. So Saturday, taste and smell is completely gone. I woke up and I could breathe through my nose. The congestion was about 60% going. My taste slowly started coming back at like 10%, but my smell was still going. Later that afternoon, I started to sneeze. Not sneezing back to back, but I had a few sneezes. Sneezing is not common in COVID, but people who are vaccinated who get COVID, they tend to sneeze. Okay. So Sunday, my congestion is 80% going. I still have a stuffy nose. My stuffy nose is coming back. Now I completely have no taste or smell. Remember, Saturday, my taste and smell was coming back at like 10%. Sunday is gone completely. Like, I could eat a freaking garlic or onion and I can't taste a thing. I can't smell a thing. So, Monday, 90%, I'm feeling 90% back to normal. I can breathe. My nose, and when I say I can breathe, I mean through my nose. My nose is still slightly stuffed up at this point, but I can breathe through my nose. No taste or smell, which really worried me because I was doing research, and a lot of people who lose their taste and smell, it could take 2 weeks to 8 months for them to get it back. And I'm like, Lord Jesus, look, I do need to lose about 20, 30 pounds, honey. So I can do without my taste for about 30 days so I can lose some weight, but I cannot do no more than that because I love food. And when you guys think about it, not being able to smell is the worst thing, because if something is spoiled, you may eat it and you don't know. If there's a fire, it's smoky and you don't know. I forgot to mention, my fiance at this time, he tests negative. He's negative. He's fully vaccinated. Also at this time, we are in complete isolation. So I am isolated in the room. I don't come out the room. He brings me my meals. He cooks for me. He brings me my meals. He sits them at the door. I wash my hands, get my meals, eat, wash my hands again, set my stuff outside the door, and he washes his hands. I told y'all I'm OCD. Also at this point, we're using separate bathrooms. If I have to come out the room for any reason, I wear a mask. He wears a mask. If he has to come in the room for any reason, which he really didn't, he would Lysol the whole room. He would wear a mask. Also, I kept my window open in the room so air could circulate, because my dog, JT, would not leave my side. And dogs can get COVID too, and I was worried about him. But I just made sure that I didn't pick him up. I didn't rub him. I didn't get in his face. And he didn't sleep in the bed with me. He slept on his own bed, and I left the window open. And he's fine, guys. He didn't get COVID, but he wouldn't leave my side, so he wouldn't separate from me. Okay, Tuesday. My nose is still clearing up. I'm 98% back to the good old me. And yeah, that was pretty much it. That 98%, I was pretty much done. So let's see. My first symptoms started on Wednesday. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, why did I count that? So 7 days. So basically, I had what you would think is a summer cold for 7 days. So COVID for me was not bad at all. They say that the vaccination is supposed to, if you get COVID, clearly, you guys, you can get COVID if you're vaccinated. But if you get COVID, it's supposed to be mild. It's not supposed to be big. My dog's godparents, the father has COVID, but from what I understand, it's very mild. Like, he didn't even know he had COVID. He just happened to get tested. He thought it was a cold. He's fully vaccinated. So the vaccination seems to be working in that regard. What else did I want to discuss? Yeah, so today, my fiance, at this time, it's been a while, right? Since I've recovered and everything. It's been a couple weeks I've been recovered or whatever. My fiance, a couple of days ago, he started exhibiting like allergy, cold symptoms. So I'm like, oh God. So we have to get him retested again. So even though he felt like it's just a cold, I don't think it's a big deal. And I told him, no, you got to get tested again. I know you came back negative, but let's get tested again because we cannot be hypocrites and we cannot be irresponsible. And an irresponsible person is the reason why I caught COVID. And we're not going to be the cause of anyone else catching COVID. Plus, I have clients coming over this weekend. And I'm like, we need to get you tested ASAP because if I need to reschedule my clients, I need to do that because I'm not going to expose anybody to COVID knowingly. So we did get him tested. Thankfully, he did come back negative. Thank you, Jesus. He does have bad allergies. His allergies act up all the time. So in that case, it is his allergies. But you know, the funny thing is, when I came out of isolation, I had to go to the store and stuff like that. Y'all, one day I went to 3 stores. I went to DSW, Walmart, and Kroger. When I tell y'all, 90% of the people in those stores did not have on a mask. And we all know they're not all vaccinated. And it was just weird to me because CDC has already made the announcement that they made a mistake lifting the mask mandate for vaccinated people. COVID is spreading at an all-time high. Please wear a mask. And people still don't want to wear a mask. Now, granted, Keisha Lance Bottoms in Atlanta made a mask mandate. Excuse me. But our trifling governor, who's a Republican, has overrode her. So you don't have to wear a mask. And nobody's wearing a mask. And the sad part is, when we went to get my fiance tested, when I went to get tested a few weeks ago, I could make a same day appointment at CVS, Walgreens, whatever. Fast forward a few weeks later, and you cannot get a same day test. It's hard to get a same day test. You have to go to the drive-through testing to get a test. When I went to get a drive-through test, it was only one person in front of me. We were the only 2 cars out there. Now it's a line of cars. When you go try to see it to get an at-home kit, because they have at-home tests that are only accurate if you're exhibiting symptoms, the stores are wiped out. When I was looking for some allergy cough medicine for my fiance, stores was wiped out. So that's telling me that a lot of people are getting sick right now. A lot of people are testing for COVID. And from what I understand, 100,000 people a day are testing positive for COVID. So I just want to say, guys, please be careful. I thank God that I did end up taking the second dose to the vaccine, because if I thought I was kind of scared about having COVID, I would have had anxiety attacks all over the place had I not been vaccinated. I could have ended up in the hospital. Thank God. Now, I do have a doctor's appointment so I can get an x-ray on my lungs and my heart, because from what I understand, even people who have been asymptomatic or had very mild symptoms, sometimes COVID can affect the lungs and the heart, and you can have inflammation. So I want to get back to working out, but I got to be clear about the doctor first, because if you have inflammation around your heart or your lungs and you work out and you don't know, it could cause you to have a heart attack. Sorry. And that's happened to some people. So I'm sure I'm fine. Like I said, I never had oxygen issues. I never had breathing issues. I'm sorry, y'all. This has not happened all day. Something is in my throat. But I never had any of those issues. But because I'm OCD and I'm like dramatic, so they say, I'm going to go to the doctor to get my x-rays and to make sure I'm fine. So yeah, that is my COVID story. But I just want to say, be safe, be careful. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them below. Like I said, I have been doing crazy amounts of research on COVID since I was diagnosed with COVID, because I'm the research queen and that's what I do. I become OCD about something, and so my latest obsession has been COVID. So if you have a question, I'm not a doctor, but I could probably answer it. Yeah, that's it. So thank you guys for coming to my TED Talk, to my Toya Talk. I know I talk forever, but I hope that this was informative for you guys. If you are battling COVID right now, or someone in your family is battling COVID right now, I pray that you will be okay, and just make sure you are eating you know, vegetables, fruits, all that good stuff. Hell, you can't taste anyway. I couldn't taste anyway, so I was eating all healthy stuff. I wasn't eating cakes and cookies like I normally do with ice cream because I can't taste it anyway. So why be packing on the calories if it's not worth it? And make sure you stay hydrated. Like I said, I took their Flu Express Max, and that was pretty helpful to me. But again, I'm going to shut my mouth and end this video. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys hopefully soon. Bye.